Hey there. So for today's Tech Tuesday, I'll be showing you how you can actually educate people that you're working with, specifically buyer on the impacts of rising interest rates. And this will be particularly through Fidelity Agent One. And I think rising interest rates is something that is on the public mind right now, especially those that are in that home buying process. But I think many people, especially that home buying process, might not know the actual figures of how these rising interest rates can actually impact their ability to buy the home of their dreams or the home in the particular neighborhood that they're looking at. So today I'll show you how you can do that with Fidelity Agent One, make it really easy, but how you can actually start to lead gen off of that. So let's get into it. Okay, so starting off, we're going to jump into the Fidelity Agent One app. And if you're not familiar with how this works at all, there's a playlist on my channel called All Things Real Estate with Fidelity Agent One. It walks you through all of the features, all of the main calculators, how it works. It's a good playlist to get familiar with the app on a deeper level. But today you'll get a little bit of insight on the main flow of how this app works. And so starting off, we'll be beginning with the monthly affordability calculator. And to get there, every time you hop into the app, it's going to jump you right into this buyer calculator here. But we'll navigate down to the bottom where it says calculators and then monthly affordability at the top of the screen there. So I'll select that. And then so the main thing I wanted to show you today is how this calculator can allow you to have conversations, whether that be the buyers you're actively working with, maybe people in your sphere of influence, the impact of rising interest rates on the ability to buy a certain price of home. And so how this calculator works is you enter in a desired payment. So maybe you're having a conversation with that buyer you're working with, and they have maybe an upper level limit of what they're comfortable with in terms of the house they're buying. So maybe they say, based on our income and our risk tolerance, the max we want to be spending on a mortgage each month is $4,500. So what you can do is select 4,500 and place that into the calculator right here for the desired payment. If you wanted, you could actually change the loan type. So you can change it from conventional to FHA to VA potentially, but we'll leave it at conventional for now. And so it'll bring in roughly the market interest rate at the time. So whenever you're watching this video, it might be a little bit different, but so it automatically plugs in 6.75. If you know the interest rate is a little bit different at the time, you can simply come in here and maybe it's 6.25 the day of, right? And you can change that if needed, but we'll leave it at 6.75 for now. And we're going to select compute. And so now what this calculator will show is that 10%, this person putting down, actually paying $4,500 a month could afford basically a house or condo at $601,000. And what's cool is maybe you're face to face with a buyer, you can actually slide this calculator to the right. Maybe you go up to 20%. It'll show the difference in the house price they could afford. Maybe you go down to 5%. Maybe they're going to do a 5% down FHA. Same thing, it'll show the difference in house price. But what we're concerned with is interest rates. And so I can select 10% here. And there's a really great template out of this. And this is the general flow of the app all the time, is you have the calculator within the Fidelity Agent One app. It's going to give you some data. But what's really nice is you can make that calculator output into a really nice template that's going to have your information on it and have some good information included. And so how you always do that within this app, any calculator you're playing around with, is the share button at the top right of the screen. It's the square icon right here with the arrow pointing upwards. And so I can select that button and then select send full report. And now it's going to create a template for me. So the first base template is showing a different down payment percentages and the difference in house prices that they can afford. So you can see that basically here. If I zoom in, it'll show that there. Like I said, it's going to have your information at the bottom of the screen. But the template that we want for today is if I select templates down here at the bottom left, then this monthly affordability top right template. And now it says if rates go up, buying power goes down. So it's still for that $4,500 monthly payment. But now this template shows a really nice graph of the impact of interest rates. So just if interest rates go up to 7.25%, automatically their buying power goes down to 601,000 down to 577,000. If they go up again, now it goes down to 555,000. So this template could be great if you're maybe showing houses to a buyer that's maybe being a little bit hesitant on buying a house and they have maybe a particular neighborhood they're really interested in, but they're being hesitant, and you can have that conversation with them. And maybe a house, once it gets below 600,000, that's a completely different neighborhood. Maybe 600,000 is the lower limit, right, of that neighborhood. And you can tell that person, hey, look, if you're a little bit hesitant and maybe if you take some time, you might eliminate yourself completely from that buying process of being able to buy in that neighborhood that you're interested in. And so what's really great about this app as well is I can easily share this content with people. So let's say, for example, I want to text this to somebody. I can hit that same share button at the top right of the screen here and select it, and then select text, and it'll automatically open up my text messaging app. If I have that buyer contact, obviously I could just send it to them, but this could be another really great open house tool. So maybe a buyer comes into your open house and they ask you about interest rates, and now you can say, oh, by the way, I can actually send you something pretty cool that shows you, the impact of interest rates on house prices. And that way they can actually see that for themselves, and they can say, oh, but what's your number? Put it in and I'll text this to you. And now you have that person's phone number. Or I can instead maybe hit the share button and select email, right? And I can email that to that person. But I can also use this as just a generic social media piece if I wanted to. So I can share this to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter directly from this app. So if I select any of these apps, let's say I selected Instagram, it'll open the Instagram app on my phone, and I can easily just create a caption for that and post that. Or I can print it out, bring maybe 10 or 15 to an open house. So a really great tool at being able to have these conversations with people, educate them on the process, but also find a way to try to lead gen off of these things. So Fidelity Agent One is a really deep app in its functionality and what it allows you to do, but it's just getting familiar with the calculators, because once you have the familiarity with the calculators, then you start to have the ability to do this kind of second nature. And you can be having a conversation with somebody like me, filming this video and putting in the calculator for you and lead gen off it, right? But it's just taking the time to sit down with the app, maybe run through some of these calculators, get comfortable with what they do and different use cases for them. But obviously, if you want to sit down with me and I can show you all of these calculators and their features, because there's a lot of them included in this app, obviously contact me at 310-480-1085, or in the description below, I have a link where you can actually schedule a Zoom meeting with me or in-person meeting with me. And this is just obviously one app of a few that Fidelity has to offer if you've been watching the videos so far. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful.